October 9th, step 16, Libra. Today is a day where you're going to be feeling it. You're going to be feeling it in your relationships. And this is a day you want to take back, fold back, and give yourself some space. We're going to be talking here with my sensei to serious joy, Mr. Chris Witecki. Looking forward to it. I had to actually walk away from my live today. And I am back with a vengeance. But it was wild. I had a karmic event. I'll be talking to Chris about this. So come on in. Put down where you're from. For those guys there earlier, I mean, it was intense. I had to shut down the live. I literally just couldn't even move. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, Sorey. I'm totally good. But I got to tell you, man, it was, I'll explain the karmic event. I'm going to talk to Chris about it when he comes up. So come on in. Put down where you're from. Toronto, Panama. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Florida or Florida, whichever you choose. We got Arizona, Lebanon. Woo! We're definitely United Nations today. Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Transylvania. Hey, vampires don't really exist unless you count Dracula. I've been waiting to use that one for a long time. Vampires don't exist unless you count Dracula. So let's bring up Chris from... I mean, this weekend has been a barn burner. That's all I can say. It's been crazy. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Give us a bunch of likes down there. Send it to a friend. Send it to yourself again. I'm feeling okay now. Yes, it was pretty intense. It came on like a wave. Chris, I'm trying to bring you up. Oh, serious joy. It doesn't say that I get... Chris, I'm trying to find you and bring you up. It could be your app, Chris. Serious? Here, let's try that. Try another way. Could be your app, Chris. If you're in the chats, just message me. I can pull you up through there too. Yeah, today was incredible. I had a karmic event, and I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know what I was dealing with until just a few minutes ago. Serious joy, unable to. Hey, Chris, try and request again, and then okay, let's try it one more time. Hey, Chris.
Hello. How's it going? We got a little bit of tech challenge there, but we did it.
Yeah. Well,
hey, buddy.
It's a Pisces day. It's like the technology is going, what? You need technology to do this?
Yeah, things are strange. We're on countdown to a solar eclipse too, so it's kind of a weird time. Anything goes right now.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. And you know what? So I had unusually I'm on my live today, and I had to cancel my live an hour in.
Oh, how come?
I like all of a sudden I just had to go to the bath. I was gonna vomit. I had to shut down. I couldn't stay up. Couldn't pay attention. It was just like boom, like snap. And then I was trying to figure out, because I'm sitting there saying, hey, what exactly happened? And then I realized that okay, well, first of all, my daughter was watching, so I brought her up to say hi. And
so
she's
your
a
karma up to say hi.
Yeah, so she's a step 12 Cancer.
Oh wow!
With tons of mastery. She's got a couple of 29s. She's got 2 grandmasters and 2 29s on top of that, which are grandmasters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, why do I feel this? And then I literally crashed. Like I ran back to the bathroom a couple of times, like I'm gonna throw up. And so I went and crashed. And then I just got up about 45 minutes ago and walked through this door is an energetic healer, basically. Super prolific, like goes into companies and writes charts for companies for like 100K and does that 4 times a year for a company, like that kind of thing, right?
Wow.
And then I'm like, she introduces herself and she's a 12 degree Cancer.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah,
wow,
I mean, it was like I was clearing something karmically there.
Well, I did the same thing. I had last Wednesday, I ate some, I guess, bad shrimp, and I had food poisoning. And I went down.
Or was it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I felt I ate something, and it was like an hour later. I felt like, you felt that feeling, like my body rejected whatever that food was, and then my body continued to reject all liquids and foods for a full 24 hours.
Okay,
So
then
there was
that's not a food poisoning. You know, in my experience, that's an energetic release. And what happens is, did you vomit too?
oh I was
Yeah.
sitting down, turning around, throwing up, sitting back down.
Yeah, okay. So this is my experience. I mean, you were there when I went through all this.
Yes,
Yeah,
I was. I did
for
think that it
years
was
I
like,
went through this. And
yeah,
what my okay, so I've done some things like for example, I test my body for like the antibodies for Epstein-Barr. Well, I don't have them anymore. And I'm like, how does that actually go away? Like what on earth or biology makes that go away? There is no explanation for it. But I believe that, okay, we see our world through our biome and our virome and our parasites, because we're only 10% human cells. And what we do is we take an aggregate of all the cellular information and then we create a picture in our brain. That's why one person can go, wow, this is beautiful. The other person goes, man, this sucks. So I believe what you're doing is the same thing I've been doing for years, which is I've been clearing, and that clearing came through when I would have the vomiting and that processing. Then the next day, it's like the world looked like a different place.
yes, and I lost my voice for 2 days. I couldn't speak.
Wow.
So there was a real throat chakra thing there as well. I think I was blocked. I mean, I saw a couple of psychics not too long ago, readers did some exchanges, and they were saying you're having some throat chakra issues where there's things that you are holding back that you need to say and speak up about. I was like, oh, okay, that's great. Then, a week later I'm vomiting and I lose my voice. So it's like, okay, but I think you're right. Like we've had this conversation
Yeah.
before. Saturn just moved to the early degrees of Pisces. So my theory was that we ended a karmic pattern with ourselves that we were born with.
That's what it is. I'm on a master level Pisces day, or not master level, Pisces day. And my daughter comes up, which is Sagittarius Cancer.
Yeah.
And a Sagittarius Cancer walks in the door here, who's an energetic processor healer. And I'm like, there's no accidents here. We're
No.
ending that karmic cycle.
We are. And I believe that, if you like a familiar Dr. Emoto's work, right, with water and praying to water and looking at the crystallization of water, so happy thoughts create pretty crystals. And
Yeah.
I feel like water is something that stores some sort of a spiritual memory in our system. And I think one of the reasons why my theory is, I mean, you're really the expert, but it's like, it seems like whenever I go through a spiritual change, I get some sickness that makes me export all the water in my body.
Yeah, because it's frequency. We can't see past that biome and the biome, but that biome and biome is held in water. And
okay,
and
that's
so
what I thought.
And to be more specific, Emoto was a one way for us to look at it, because he was showing what happens with water. But they took all the information in the world, the equivalent of all the terabytes of data stored in the world, and they stored it into a single drop of water. When I got out of encryption, that's where we were going. We were going to storage and water. And that, that was in 2000. Well, I got out abruptly in 2008, of course. But that's when that's where we were going. So basically, you think about a phone. Like you take a JPEG, a low res one, you take a high res one, it takes a lot more space. Well, it takes a lot more space to create a video, right?
Right.
With bandwidth. So how much space and how much storage capacity to store a smell or a feeling? Because
that's interesting.
I've interviewed people over 100 years old, and they can tell you exactly how it felt viscerally the first time they kissed their husband or their wife. And I'm like, if that means that body has stored all that information, they've stored the memory of all of that feeling and all that, and gazillions of other memories all this time. There's not one human body is greater than all the storage capacity and computing capacity on the whole planet.
That's pretty interesting. And that really ties into the whole idea of water weight, and people who are gaining weight and they're gaining mass, and it's like quite often they're emotionally eating, and it's like, how much are you storing your pain into water weight?
Remember me when I went to the fast? I got really heavy when I left LA.
Yeah.
Water weight. I was eating the same, never changed. I stopped eating for 44 days. I was still fat.
You're like, what the? Yeah.
Yeah, that was my. And what happened was I went through this experiment in the clinic for 2 years. because when I started working with fascia and the way that we work with it today, which is emotional, I noticed this behavior. I would intermittent fast during the day because if I had food in I'm doing physical work. If I had food in my stomach, I wasn't able to perform the work good enough. And so I would weigh in at 2:15 every morning at 6 a.m. By 7 or 8 p.m. at night, I would only drink 2 liters of water, which is like a Pepsi bottle of water. So I'd drink that throughout the day without eating anything. Before I would eat, I would check in my weight every night, and I was 225. And then I ran a whole
10 pounds from a gallon of water or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't. The gallon of water doesn't weigh that much, and I'm sweating all day. So when I was this is where the theory of fascia came, because I had all these clinical tests. I had all these hydration tests. I had all these subclinical tests, blood panels, and I kept running them, and they weren't changing. So the only thing I could explain it is that when I have, let's say, anger, water goes to the liver, anger. And it's waiting for the emotion to release because that's the natural process. But if I don't release the emotion, that water sits there waiting. And if I don't release it long enough, that water goes brown, putrid. And if I don't, if I keep it in there longer, it goes white. And this is where I had a conversation with one of the best athletes in the world studying fascia, and he says, "What's the difference between fat and adipose fascial tissue?" And I said, "There is no difference." So the way I describe it is, it's like you have a zip file. So in your computer, like I have lots of space. I open up a file, I have no space left. So our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, that big compression of data, how does it? Because I gave you a real life example that we have more data in us than all the computers on the planet Earth. We have all the data in a single drop of water. So that means we have the capacity to store that. So what I believe is that these emotions that are stored, these memories and feelings and thoughts and emotions that are stored, this life and others, sit in our DNA. And when we have a realization, they come out and then they fill with water, which is weight.
Oh, that's fascinating.
And you could take the atomic weight of a phone, and then you can, like an iPhone, and then you can put it full of data and take the atomic weight again, it changes.
Does it really? From the stored data? That's fascinating. That makes a lot of sense.
Fascinating.
That is fascinating, yes. Fascinating. So, I mean, in full circle of all this, I think a lot of people are going to do a lot of purging. We had a live show. Actually, I couldn't do my live show on Namaste last Friday night. So I ran some stuff from our internal channel, and I did some polls, and I asked how many people were sick or knew someone that was sick in the last week. It was 70%.
Yeah, we're doing the same thing, and we have literally millions of contacts saying that. And the ones who weren't physically sick, like I had some freak accidents, like driving a truck with a Jeep behind it, all of a sudden just blown off the road. And I'm like, how do you blow a big truck, you know, a 6,000 pound truck and a Jeep? How do you blow that off the road? And, you know, people with their face smashed in, unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this in all my years of working with people.
As far as all the accumulated accidents and sickness at the same time?
Yeah, accidents, sickness, and all this. And my belief is that because we're pulling emotions out, and either we're proactively pulling them out and doing something, or our life is getting, the law of attraction is in action. And either we're doing something about it proactively, or the universe is just smacking us in the head everywhere.
Well, and Saturn, you know, so Saturn, which is in Pisces, Pisces is our spiritual subconscious. Subconscious is where those zip files are.
Yeah.
So I think our subconscious we've
zip filed
all the past.
Yeah, subconscious in the body.
Yeah. The body is the actual hard drive.
Yeah.
But the spiritual memory is the data, which has been compressed. Saturn, you know, Saturn with those rings, that's like, I look at it as a buzzsaw. It's a cutting tool.
Yeah.
So it's cutting. That's like, it's cutting through all those zip files right now. And what's interesting is this week, Saturn gets to 0, which means Saturn gets down to the bone. It gets down to the core.
The origin of our karma.
Yes, the very premise.
When does it get to 0?
It gets to 0. Let me just look here in my notes. On Wednesday, of course, hump day. Of course. Always on hump day.
Of course. And by the way, it was last Wednesday when the 9-month cycle started. And that's when everybody started showing up sick.
Yes. And Pluto stations direct on Tuesday tomorrow. So which means that we're moving. So it's like we get to the bottom of our karma, and then Pluto, which is like the enforcer, now clicks into gear and moves forward. And of course, we had Hamas and Israel go to war over the weekend, which I was talking about Pluto at 27. We were talking about the
Yeah.
trucker rally. We are talking
Yeah.
about world conflict at 27. And sure as
Here we
hell,
go.
right on cue, like,
Hold
suddenly
on.
we have world
Just so we
conflict.
don't piss anybody off. We're not laughing at the war. We're laughing at
Oh,
the
no.
synchronicities. Yeah.
Yeah, I thank you for that disclaimer because some people have taken my approach wrong. I actually get excited at the fact that the planets are representing so clearly, but I
I
am
do
not
too, because
excited about people I'm not excited about people being hurt at all.
look at, honestly, I've been saying this for a long time. The human race is thinning out. And I have a prediction. I won't put it out here on the public stage, but in my lifestyle artist group, I've been saying it for years. We've lost 1 billion people in the last year worldwide.
Have we really?
Yeah, we've gone down to 7.2 billion according to U.S. intelligence. And
wow.
And we're not even close to tipping off the iceberg of what's going to happen.
Wow. Okay.
And this was the moment that, it's funny because this is the moment that I had been predicting for all these years. And this is also the moment that you told me that I was going to break out, but I just didn't see those two events coming together.
Yeah, I always knew that it would be upon when the world is in a pinch. That's and that you were preparing for that moment, especially now. I mean, with all the adversity we've had to this, stuff on the planet, the viruses and whatnot.
Yeah.
Intense.
But wait till people find out that viruses are all bullshit too.
That's what I've heard.
Well, think about it this way, okay? So when you're born into this world, every viral load, every virus in this world is already in your nervous system. So if you take a PCR test and you wind it up, you have everything: Ebola, swine flu, everything, AIDS, all that stuff. If you dig deep enough into our DNA. So when we take an injection, it's to give us to create an antibody. Well, first of all, I'm not even going to get into that. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but I'll just say that then they say, well, I caught a virus from you, but I already have that virus inside of me.
Yeah.
So how can I catch it from you if I already have it?
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is just one of those logic pieces that I could never understand. I mean, science is really clear about this. Technically, it's medicine that's unclear because medicine's dogmatic.
So it's that the soul suddenly decides to succumb to that particular DNA strand, huh?
Yeah, but the virus itself is an instrument of cleaning. When we get a flu, our body's actually healing itself. So the question is, what are we healing from? Our lives, which are sick.
Right, the dis-ease.
Yeah, the dis-ease. Right. It's not true that a virus is making us sick. Our virus is there to clean us. So
to flush
welcoming, us. Yeah, but my perception going into that, like if I inflict a level 9 pain on your arm, and you put your hand there and touch it, your whole biology believes that you're imposing it. The pain goes from a 9 to a 4 instantaneously. We do that in body work all the time. Hey, put your hand there. Or if you're so the idea is that your acknowledgement, your perception of the event changes the way that event experience happens. So what are we taught? We're taught that we're sick, but if we're taught we're sick, sickness means that sickness leads to death. But if we're not sick, if we're cleaning, then we have a whole other understanding of it. We don't fear it. Fear reduces our immune systems, compromises our immune system. We can't process and eliminate properly. Our immune system doesn't work properly when we're in fear. So if I have a virus, I'm in fear of the virus. That is not the way it is. It just simply is not that way.
So that's interesting. So it's a cleansing agent. You catch it.
Exactly, it is
a cleansing agent.
Yeah, because it's the same reason why it's the same philosophy of why we give ourselves viruses in an injection, because we're going to develop antibodies over it so that we can be healthy. Right. Well, it's no different in our body. Why would it be different in here? It's like so messed up that we bought hook, line, and sinker this narrative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's for a capitalist agenda, right? Yeah,
that's right. Buy more.
It's buy more. Yeah, and keep buying, kind of thing. So
So last week's predictions exactly to the day. We were sitting there on Monday, and people were like, "Oh yeah, well I don't know," and I had people saying, "Is that really going to happen?" And then boom, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, people everywhere going down in their personal bodies. So you called that like 100% correct. So what do we got coming up this week? Okay, we got Saturn going into Pisces at 0 degrees.
Saturn goes to 0.
And then what does that mean?
It means that, so my philosophy here, my theory is that we were all born with a plethora of problems that we've been accumulating over lifetimes and building up karmic memory. We have a lot of unsettled memories in our karma. And Neptune in Pisces since 2012 was bringing all these karmic patterns to light. It was bringing it to light, but we weren't necessarily doing anything about it. So when Saturn entered into March of this year, we started actually taking responsibility, which is what Saturn is, and starting to cut those karmic patterns with ourselves. With Saturn now back at 0, we're all stations. So Saturn went to 7 Pisces, the Grandmaster step of Pisces, and then it retrograded back to 0. So it went from 0 to 7, back to 0 again.
Whoa!
You
So
can't
basically,
get more specific.
Here, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them. So it goes all the way to 7 and says, "This is what it's going to look like. I'm going to give you a break and go back to 0. I'm going to take you one step at a time."
It's like, this is your issue with yourself, and 7 is the karma. So we only up to the karma with ourselves, and then went back to 0. So being back to 0 means we've cleared out the past stuff in us that would keep us from seeing reality through clear perception, because we were seeing through the filter of our past pain. And so now that we're aware of our past pain, it would be a choice as to whether or not you want to continue to look at it that way.
Right.
Now you have this other, so Saturn goes to 0. And then what happens is the sun, Pluto stations direct on Tuesday, which means, okay, now that it's now time to move forward with the transformation of power on Earth. And we've seen all that build up. And of course, we'll see what happens, as this will be the response to Hamas probably and Israel, and we'll see if it becomes a world conflict or not. There's a lot of alliances there behind Iran and Palestine. There's a lot of alliances behind Israel, so we'll kind of see that. But on a personal story, now that you are clear of your own issues with yourself, you're going to see your relationships to others differently, because you were playing a role in the relationship based on your own pain and your own stuff that you were projecting onto the scenario. Now that you're clear of your own stuff, you may not be the quote unquote victim in this relationship. You might not be the person who provokes in the relationship. So what we end up doing this week is we commit to what I call uniting the light. We're going to commit to people who are on our team, and we're going to decide, okay, this is my team. This is the group of people I belong with. And that might be people you work with, people you're in relationships with. So we're doing a lot of decisions about who we're teaming up with and who we're not. And then we have a solar eclipse on Saturday at 21 degrees Pisces. This is the first eclipse.
Jupiter Pisces.
21 degrees.
It's got to have some effect on me.
21 degrees Libra. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Pisces.
Yeah, but okay. Well, still, it's got to have an effect on me because I'm a Jupiter.
Oh yeah, you are. So all Sagittariuses, all net threes, all and all Libras in particular, hyper affected. Excuse me. Yeah. I was thinking of Saturn and Pisces. By the way, Neptune's at 25 Pisces, which is the highest 7. So
yes.
We have Saturn at the lowest 7 and Neptune at the highest 7. That right there are the parentheses right there of the new spiritual story. So I believe what we do this week, we have a quantum field that opens up. Jupiter's at 13 and Uranus is at 22. They both add to a 4 in Taurus. Taurus is what we manifest. So when you have two planets like Jupiter and Uranus going to a quantum degree, quantum meaning it can be where both places the electron is at. You know what I mean? Like quantum meaning here and there simultaneously, the past and the present, the future and the past, so we open up this quantum window. In a nutshell, I believe what we do this week is we switch timelines.
Yeah.
So I believe this is a timeline. You might have been on you might have been destined for doom. You might have been destined to die of a disease. You might have been on the path to failure, but that could all change this week. It could all change.
So when you say that, because I hear a lot of people say that, how do you think that shows up in the real world? Like, what does that timeline shift look like?
It looks like I don't believe I am headed for disaster anymore. So the eclipse is a belief about where you're headed, where your team is headed, where your people's headed. 21 Libra is basically the school of people that you belong to. I belong to this, like a school of thought, for instance. So you change your school of thought. I'm not on this, I choose, for instance, I think actually, just to throw out a political idea out there, it's like, are you on the side of Hamas? Are you on the side of Israel? No, none of the above. I'm on the side of peace.
Yes.
How about that? How about that third option that's never been presented to us? Peace, right? So
Yeah.
once you subscribe to a new narrative, like I'm on the side of peace, I'm not going to fall into this bad guy, good guy thing anymore. I'm going to be on this side of like, we all need to come together and get over our differences and have peace. Then suddenly what happens is the law of attraction then starts to change based on this fundamental belief change you have. If you believe that, then people who disagree with you get angry and go away.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? You're so full of it. I should have seen that years ago. I always knew you were a fake and a phony Witecki. So people who don't gravitate with that philosophy, they are repelled, or they turn off the highway. And then, at the grocery store or whatever, you start chatting up in line with someone. You're like, let me get your number. So what happens is, ultimately, what's it look like? A major change in the cast of characters in your life. That's what Libra is. You're going to start to see a change of cast.
Yeah.
New
So
people coming on.
relationships are coming into, because I've been changing my relationship with myself. Now I'm going to change my relationship with my local community in the second 10 days of Libra. And
Exactly.
then the relationship to the world from the 21st, or from the
Yes.
19th onward.
Exactly. So your relationship to the future, your relationship to the world, your relationship to your pack, I'd say, the high degrees of Libra is like, are the people you are partnered with, aligned with you, they're your pack, like the rat pack or whatever. It's your group of, your demographic, your demo. So yeah, so it's a major change of demo, because, and it happens on the precipice that I'm no longer going to be a wimp to myself on the inside. I'm no longer going to be this relationship to myself with Saturn and Pisces. This old story I was born to, always being afraid, always swallowing my, what I want to say, always being the quiet one. I'm not going to let myself be that anymore. So that changes the rules with everything else and everyone else.
So I have a lot of Pisces in my life, in particular, and I noticed them dealing heavily with where they belong and what they belong to.
Pisces are going with Saturn at 0. So most Pisces are born with tremendous amount of baggage. So when you're a Pisces, you are here to like get rid of so much baggage.
Okay, hold on. Cynthia, take a listen.
I think I've said this to Cynthia.
You have.
Yeah. It's like Paris Hilton going on a vacation. There's like 35 bags there. You know what I mean? Like to be checked in at the airport. Like they because Pisces had put it off. So I think when you're a Pisces, you're like, okay, this is a flash sale. All karma must go. And so I think up until now, Pisces have been doing nothing. And this is based on the orbit of Saturn. Since 2012, Pisces have started to wake up to what that karma is. And since Saturn went in March around their birthday, Pisces are finally now ready to identify and get rid of that baggage. So Pisces are being reborn. This is a rebirth for the Pisces race.
I feel that. My suggestion to Pisces is just take a step back. Don't, get reborn, but don't tear up your entire world while you're doing it. Because that's what I'm noticing in particular. It's like they keep bumping their heads against things this last week.
Oh, well, that's interesting. They might be fighting. That's because they're trying to swim away. Bonk and the fishbowl's keeping them in. Like, I think Pisces do like to swim away. I mean, and that's the thing. God's breaking that habit.
Right.
You can't. Not this time, Pisces. You got to face it head on. So here's the irony. It's like Pisces have been down on the dumps. They're classic creative alcoholics is the name is always given to them. They're creative alcoholics. They've been in denial. But here as the world comes into a moral crisis, which is what we're coming into. We've been in moral crisis for a while. The Pisces suddenly wake up at the last minute like, oh, where's the party? So the ones who really are morally, they really are working out the morale and the morality of life. Good, bad, happy, sad, You know, that's the two fish. It's always these polarities. But here's the weird thing. We're coming out of the age of Pisces. So
Right.
here, as we end the age of Pisces, the age of polarity, the age of, you know, black, white, good, evil, that sort of just seeing the world only in two ways, right at the very end of the age of Pisces, the Pisces get their shit together. Right? Like
Yeah.
it's like we were basically waiting for y'all for 2,000 years. So since the birth of
It's
Christ, you know.
it's like Jesus Christ, we've been waiting for a long time.
Yeah, we have. The whole world has. We've been waiting for the whole Pisces. So I think that Pisces go out and become spiritual leaders. I think,
Yeah.
you know, or holding the space of compassion.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I see
yeah,
that. I see that in Cynthia. I see that in her just going through all these dilemmas right now about who she is and where she belongs and what's right and what's wrong and what she wants to do. I see that like in full force, and she's a strong, energetic Pisces, and I can see it because it comes out in flaming expressions all over the place. So I can definitely see that.
yeah, and I think they're gonna, because they've suffered so much. I think that Pisces are going to be that voice of compassion on the planet, because, you know, it's not that they're trying to be, you know, greater than thou. It's that they're seeing their own pain in other people. They're seeing like, oh, I've been through there. I've hurt there. You know, they're identifying with that pain because they have gone through it themselves. So God is about, you know, they're sort of the spiritual Red Cross. And, you know, God is about to release the spiritual Red Cross. As Saturn climbs up now through Pisces, Pisces now change their role in the world and what they will do and won't do. So, you know, kiss your local Pisces. They may be gone here, you know,
Yeah, you
off
know
on
what?
some sort of a
And then
spiritual
of course
mission.
Jordan, my son, is a Pisces.
That's right. What step number is he? I forget.
He's 17 degree, but he's a Capricorn moon, and he's got like 329s in his chart. I mean, he's got it's funny because he has all this mastery trying to come through this proficient Pisces shell.
Yes, trying to like,
And
yeah, that's like,
on his 29th, he's on his 30th year. So he's finishing his Saturn return, and he's got a
no.
shit ton of Virgo.
Oh wow. So he has Saturn in Pisces, huh? So
Yeah.
yeah. So he has to take responsibility for compassion for himself, and you know, and choosing that spiritual path versus he's probably caught between the material Capricorn and the spiritual Pisces.
Yeah, you could see it. Yeah, you could actually see that narrative working itself out.
That struggle, yeah, which is the way to go.
So then we're going from Pisces, age of Pisces, into the age of Aquarius.
Yes,
I've noticed Aquarius has been having a lot of physical problems in their body, and it's like, and they want to do everything else but take care of it. That's what. And this is like Aquariuses that have lots of other contributors, but strong Aquariuses. I find that.
Yes. So if you look at a solar chart, the way you calculate a solar chart is you put the sign on the 0 degree line. So the Aquarius chart is their 6th house, their body is Cancer, emotion. So their body is all emotion. And the reason why they're having health issues is because they hate that subject in high school, emotion.
Yeah.
That's the subject they hate the most. They don't like Cancer energy. You know, it's like electricity, which is what they are, and water, which is Cancer. So, you know, Pluto has been coming in and saying there's a new sheriff in town. You know, Pluto's dipped into Aquarius. It's like, I'm warning you, Aquas, I'll be back. Pluto's now back in Capricorn. Pluto goes back in Aquarius. Actually, the first day of Aquarius, Pluto goes into Aquarius on the first day of Aquarius in January.
Oh,
which is like,
can't make that shit up.
I know. It's just like, you know, it's like, it's just so obvious. God's like, in case you didn't notice, you know, it's like, you know, I mean, but like, that's Pluto going, okay, this is your second warning, Aquarius. And then it comes November, I think 21st of 2024, after the U.S. elections, Pluto's in Aquarius for good. That's it.
I got a
24 years.
Aquarius here. Is that Danny Ella? Are you 29 degree Aquarius in your sun sign? If you are, you need to send a message to me. I have a group of 29 degrees in their sun sign, a very big group worldwide, and we're learning from each other right now.
That's a great thing that you're doing. 29 Aqua. You're in for a long ride. Let me just say to that person, I saw her pinned up there. You're last on stage, dear. You're the last one on stage. So it's like after the symphony and the curtains have like closed, it's like that's your 29's that final moment.
Yeah. 11th hour, 59th minute, 59 second.
100%. Yes, absolutely. We also have the sun opposing Chiron this week, which just means that you're likely gonna have to
Face your own shit.
you're gonna face some decision where you once were wrong. So it's like and it doesn't mean you're gonna choose the opposite that you chose last time. But the point is that you're gonna find yourself staring at a very similar circumstance that you've been at before, like about to get remarried, about to start another company, about to do something you messed up on in the past.
I'm 28 degrees Pisces and Chiron.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. So that
I'm
is that's
facing not trying to get there and not getting there. Right?
The fear is that the spiritual mission will fall apart.
Yeah, you know what? I've had that, but I processed that. I don't know how it's going to show up. It'll show up some way, but I've processed that for the first time in my life. I feel happy where I am because I didn't even know I was on this mission.
Right.
Yeah, and then now I got on the mission, and it was the last 4 years. I've been processing all the fear of it not being there. Like I didn't even want to be the face of Human Garage because I had a sense that every other time in my life I fucked it up at the last minute.
Yes, that's 28. 28
yeah.
is like when it's all about to come together, the funding pulls out. When it's all about to happen, there's an investigation. Like it's that final 28 is that final step before 29.
Yeah.
So, you're a 29 that wants to skip 28.
Yeah.
Basically.
For sure, man. Who wants to check in with a heart of Taurus?
Yeah, and 28 is being committed to the feeling. So that's like 28, since we're talking about it, in 28, it's like you're committed to an emotional tone where you're not going to let your feelings waver. I have a lunar eclipse in 28 Cancer. That's my one learning spot.
Oh,
yeah, so we
that makes a lot of sense now.
We have that in common, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, that's like so that's sort of like, Napoleon, or, when I think of like George Washington, who was a Pisces, by the way. Some say he's Aquarius. I think he's a Pisces. But he's like crossing
Black Pisces, by the way.
Yeah, as he's crossing the Potomac, all stoic with not enough troops, not enough equipment to go, into the Revolutionary War. He held that emotional tone that everything would be fine, even though his mind was thinking we might be doomed here.
Yeah.
So 28 is about holding that tone because you're a leader at 28. And so if we see the president get scared, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like you can't see that leader get scared or fall into an emotional spell. You have to be sort of emotionally committed, like an actor is committed to a scene until 29. And even through 29, you have to still stay committed to those feelings too. Oh, I see this. This person has 28 degrees in their chart.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to bring her up. That's why I pinned it, because she's on our Lifestyle Artist program. She's always moderating and helping out and stuff like that. And now and she's a Pisces. Oh no, she's an Aquarius with a lot of Pisces in her.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So this should be a fun conversation.
Okay, great. Is she coming on?
We can.
You can invite her on?
Yeah, but hey, well, before she comes on,
okay,
what does the rest of the week look like?
So there's one other really important thing so this is all the build up to the solar eclipse. So the build of the solar eclipse is I'm done with my karma with myself. I'm committing to my tribe and my vibe. So I'm committing to the tribe I vibe with. I'm not going to make the same mistake I did in the past where I, made the wrong turn at Albuquerque or whatever, so that sort of thing. This is all the build to the solar eclipse. And then Mars trine Saturn at 0 degrees. Mars at 0 Scorpio is drawing the line. That is it. You cross this line, you die. So we draw this line with ourselves like an absolute. And that Mars trines into Saturn at 0 degrees Pisces. So Mars at 0 Scorpio trines into Saturn at 0 Pisces, which means if I'm on this new spiritual path, well, then I'm drawing a line with myself. No more of this. And then after that sort of proclamation, boom, new moon, solar eclipse 21, new story going forward. Jupiter and Uranus both at, Uranian degrees. So quantum shift, new timeline. So basically from that point after this, we start seeing a cast of characters switching next week.
Yeah. So that means that people coming into your life and out of your life, businesses, jobs. Cast of characters isn't only people; it's things and ideas and concepts too, right?
It's a major, it's a major migration, basically. And that migration will take place through Sagittarius.
Right.
So it's like, so you may realize it's not going to work out with your husband or wife right now or with a certain partnership, but you may not cut that cord until, mid Scorpio. Scorpio is when you actually cut the cord, where you send the email.
You know it's funny because we're doing this event in Joshua Tree, a private corporate event on the 18th, and I thought, why don't we stay? I didn't even think about it, but we're doing on the 21st, which is 28 degree, I think. We're going to do a public event, which we haven't done too many of. We have people flying in from all over the world for that, and and I'm like, whoa, this is in Libra. How could you even make that up?
That's amazing. Yeah. We've had some people join our team at Serious Joy, some other practitioners. We have a new practitioner for ceremony come on. Just fell out of the sky, like, Blink, I want to work with you. And we're like, yeah, I think you're meant to. So you're going to see things just happen. Some of it, though, is just that there's a campaign and a mission. I will say this, that it is time to do what you're here to do, people.
Yeah.
Like
this is the time. The calling is here.
Take the first step, because even the first step rocks the world. If the whole world says, no, I'm going to
do something different.
I'm going to do what my heart wants. I'm not going to pay attention to this distraction on the media. I'm not going to pay attention. I'm going to go ahead over here and paint, It's sort of like if Hitler would have just went ahead and painted, imagine what would have been different.
Yeah. He wouldn't have lived out his life in Argentina.
Yeah, exactly. Drunk and bitter. And that's the point. It's like when we follow our heart, and that's what the planets are saying, it's like it's time to follow your heart. It's time to follow your creative path. And if you do that, you will be voting to change the world, because you're not giving into fear. You're not giving into the grief. You're giving into creativity and love.
Okay, so that's awesome. So let's bring up Zoe if I can get her up.
You got it.
Oh. Zoe, I can't bring you up right now. Why not? Hold on a second here.
Zoe, that's a cool name.
Yeah, it is. Okay, I'm gonna try inviting you, Zoe. Better bring things. Yeah, Aquarius with lots of Pisces. She even has the Pisces look.
The Pisces look.
Hey, Zoe.
All right, we're
Ray.
Yeah, flipping around. Hi, Zoe. How's it going? Nice to meet you.
I'm good. It's nice to meet you too.
Thank you. I love your accent. What's your son's step number and sign?
My son is 1 degree Aquarius.
Whoa, that's great. That's a master Aquarius, by the way, because step 1 is Leo, so you're a mix of the Leo Aquarius spectrum. So
I did wonder, yeah, because it's like the opposites, isn't it?
That's the side of mastery, so you've mastered it. Grandmaster would be 4 Aquarius, but master would be 1. So you are at the master level. It's like difference between masters and PhD. You got a master's in Aquarius. What's your moon step number and sign? Do you know?
Yeah, so I've got 16 degree Aries moon.
16 Aries. Wow. Okay.
Pisces Aries.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my rising is 21 degree Pisces.
Whoa.
Oh, Sagittarius Pisces. That's why I like you so much.
Yeah, that is why she's got the Sag energy. That's really great. So how you say you have some 28s in your chart, huh? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so I've got Saturn at 28 degrees Capricorn, and the true node at 28 Capricorn as well.
And what?
The true node?
Oh, true node. Sorry about that. I didn't quite hear.
Oh, okay. So this is going to be spicy.
That's the universe screaming at you. Screaming at you. So, like with the North Node conjoining Saturn, that's a commandment, that's a demand. So, that's the thing that basically you have to be committed to your feelings about the way power and leadership have to happen. Like the way you feel it has to happen is the way you have to do it. But Pluto's is really creeping up on your sun. So there's some boundaries. I get the sense that you're probably not letting love rule your life yet.
Yeah, I've given myself a bit of a hard time, but I've loved probably other people, or given love to other people more than myself, I think. And that's what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, that's what it is. And your moon is very 16 degree Aries moon is basically a spiritual warrior. So, I think you want to, you're on a mission. that and with Pluto going over your Saturn, what do you do?
I'm a weaver, so I make woven textiles.
Okay.
But I'm thinking of changing careers completely and doing coaching and helping people somehow.
She's
So
helping
yeah.
people every day in our chats and stuff like that. She's part of our lifestyle artist program. So.
Yeah, so if you ask your heart what she really wants, that's what it's about. You can get ahead of the Pluto curve. If
Mm.
you're not on the path of what your heart really wants, you're going to have some real struggle about a year from now. Like the universe is not going to tolerate you not following what your heart wants. But the North Node in Saturn at 28 would indicate that you're meant to be a leader during this time.
Yeah, that's what my messages from you guys keep saying. I'm a natural leader. And I think I'm stepping into that belief a bit more now. I actually had a dream with you in Chris, and
Oh, really?
it was
That's
it was
familiar.
you told me to get a specific crystal for manifestation. And I
Yes.
didn't know what the crystal was, and I found it and I brought it.
Oh,
So
wow, that's
yeah.
amazing. What crystal was it? What did I tell you?
It was a golden rutilated quartz crystal. So it's like a really clear quartz, but with
And gold
golden strips
in the
going through
center. Oh, Zore, I gotta tell you, that was the crystal that I went through my transformation with.
Ha! No way.
Yeah, with all that Sag in me, and I got a 21 Aries in my rising too.
Wow. Well, my is it MC is in Sagittarius, 26 degrees.
Oh my
Me,
gosh, Capricorn. There you go. I'm a Cap
That's
Moon.
the galactic center. That means that you promised God you would do something in this lifetime. You made a promise. You made a commitment. That we're all counting on you. The world's going to go to hell if you don't stand up.
Yeah, no pressure.
No pressure.
yeah, no pressure.
Cue the chorus. Yeah. Well, and now's the time. But you might find yourself called to action by what you see happening on the earth in the next 3 to 6 months. Like something may piss you off. It's like, in the American Revolutionary War, how many people, did Paul Revere from the beginning know he was going to ride a horse? And, there's comes a moment when you feel called to the call. You might be called to some sort of action. It may surprise you.
Yeah. Well, I've always had a feeling since I was younger that I would be part of something big to help people. But I just didn't know what it would be. So I'm excited for what might come. I'm up for it.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to help. So, can I ask you though, one question? Well, I've probably got loads of questions here actually, but my Chiron is in Cancer at 23 degrees.
Whoa.
And
Okay.
because I've tried to look into it, but there's so much stuff online, and obviously trust what you're kind of doing. So it'd be interesting to get your perspective.
You got emotionally caught up with some sort of fever in a past life, like a fever like in communism, or a fever like you got caught up emotionally and passionately in some sort of idea that brought you down, which may mean why you're reluctant to take charge again. So you got caught up in the passion of the moment, and it ended in some sort of despair, destruction. And it was around an ideal or a philosophy, step 23. So a good example would be like, you thought communism wasn't the answer, and then you got to heaven, you're like, oh shit, that was not the answer. So there was a regret that you got caught up in the fever of things, which may be why you're sort of Aquarius cool, like in the corner here, like, oh, it's all good. Y'all go ahead. You're playing it cool right now. And that might be why you're not following what your heart wants, because what your heart wants may be, or may appear to be, a little radical or daring or bold. The truth is your moon, that moon in Aries, it fights for causes.
Yeah.
That 16 degree moon in Aries fights for causes. When you see an injustice or something that is immoral, you are called to action, like a knight in shining armor. So you probably, jumped on some sort of a bandwagon And as a result, you're afraid. So that's the thing. 28 is an emotional commitment. We were just talking about that, which brought you on.
Yeah.
Why are you afraid to make an emotional commitment? Because your emotional fever in a past life brought you down. So now you're afraid to commit emotionally to something. And that Chiron creates fear and apprehension. But that's why you've tuned into your heart at step one. If your heart's on board, you're not doing anything wrong. Like, I don't believe if we're genuinely following love, I don't think you can mess up. I don't think if you're really in your heart, you can hurt somebody. I think you can't. You have to detach from your heart. So if you're tuned into your own heart, you won't be attached to the wrong fever this time.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I've always put other people's emotions and feelings before mine. So in this past year, since starting the program and the resets, I've really been trying to get back in touch with my emotions and make sure that I'm doing things from my heart and not, like thinking about how I feel rather than just always someone else. So, which obviously you have to consider other people as well, but yeah, that totally makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, Zoe, you've changed so much. Even I just noticed your face has changed so much since the last time I talked to you. You're
That's fascinating.
Yeah,
yeah.
I have. I feel like a different person. So thank you.
Moon and Aries people, they stay busy to avoid their feelings. So you got to sit down and stop moving.
Yeah.
And know how you really feel. Yeah, they stay busy. Like, I'm too busy. I'm too busy.
Yeah,
they're the ones who
need something to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that means I'm always needing to avoid a feeling. There's something you don't want to feel. That's why you're busy doing stuff. So it'll be uncomfortable, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zoe, for all that you do.
Thank you guys so much. You too.
We'll see you on the battlefield.
Yeah,
she's called there.
Definitely see her on the battlefield.
We will.
Okay, let's grab a Leo, Gabrielle Gefter.
Oh yeah, I love Leos.
Yeah, absolutely. Got all that Leo in you.
I do. I'm partial.
Hey, Gabrielle.
And people flipping around the camera.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Gary, I still can't see you.
Hey, can you see him?
Yes.
Oh, that's
I'm gonna say, based on the amount of times this has happened between us, this is something energetic, no longer something physical.
And my Instagram is updated. It's like it should be fine.
Then it's just the way it's supposed to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's very interesting. I'm curious to see how it's gonna play out, in future time. But
you'll make it work.
I wanted to start
your moon and your rising.
Yeah, son.
Yes. Here, I have it pulled up. Give me one quick second.
Sure.
Okay. So I am a 16-degree Leo.
Oh,
I'm born August 8th.
Oh, nice. It's on Lionsgate.
Lionsgate portal, 16 degree.
And actually,
7.
And actually, my brother has the same birthday as I do.
How many years apart?
And 17.
Whoa! That's like a twisted Irish twins.
And and what's crazy is we're actually both born on a Friday.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So what is he like?
It's
future self or something? That's kind of.
I don't know. We're very different.
Yeah.
Or are you?
I have Serious Joy pulled up, and I have him in my tribe. I can give you his degrees too.
Let's go to your moon and your rising.
Finish you first.
Okay, so I'm a 16-degree Leo. I'm a 14-degree Libra moon.
Okay.
And my rising is 29-degree Libra, so ascendant, right?
Oh,
right. Another 29.
There
You got to join Gary's 29 club.
Yes, my Chiron here is also in Libra.
Oh wow! What degree?
27.
Whoa!
Oh, okay.
So I haven't figured all of that out, but I've had some interesting coincidences around the number 6 in September. So it's been like the Libra stuff has been pointed out to me recently. all the coming into balance stuff. It's been 6 years since I started my spiritual transformation.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So you're about to hit your 7th year, which will be a full cycle. 7 years is this full spiritual chapter, just as we were talking
Okay.
about from 0 to 7 in Saturn. But with the North Node has moved over your ascendant and is now moving, the North Node is now past your Chiron and is heading for your moon. So, I mean, the South Node, forgive me, the South Node. So what you are doing is you are now clearing those issues. Your moon and your Chiron are in your 12th house if you have a 20-degree Libra rising. So that means that those are issues that are that's spiritual baggage that you have.
Yep.
Your
Yep.
true feelings and your wound. Chiron at 27 said you were once some sort of a crusader for human rights, and you fought the law and the law won.
This is very interesting.
Yeah, unfortunately, play that song a few times, but that's ultimately what's happened. So, but 29 ascendant means you didn't learn because you're going to do it again. And now the universe is saying, hey, it's time to get over whatever that is, like whatever you're holding on to. 27 Chiron is that you didn't listen to your feelings or you didn't listen to your intuition. That's why you messed up. So you might have been like, I think a lot of times, especially with soldiers, their commanders are saying, go over the wall. Like, it's time to go over the wall. It's time to, to charge. And their own guts and feelings are going, no, I don't think that's a good idea, Sarge. But they do it anyways. And it's like, and they die because, there was a landmine or a tank or something over that wall or whatever. So the wound is really not that you are prone for mistakes. The wound is you don't listen to your feelings and your intuition at a critical moment. And so you got to check in.
Yeah. That's very interesting because I've been drawn to weaponry since a very young age.
I bet.
Like cold weapons, like swords, bows and arrows, this kind of thing.
That's it.
So and then recently I had a very just deep emotional cleansing with anger. Okay. And I felt something about like that crusader thing, that like fighting for humanity kind of something going on there. Yeah. Because I have this overarching feeling just in general that people don't know what the heck they're doing.
Yeah.
And so that's a feeling that I have. And I'm like, I look at every situation, I'm like, nope, not that way. Nope, not that way. Nope, not that way. So, and it comes with a very fiery energy too. And it's like, I recognize that the thing where you say, I don't listen to my intuition in key moments. Yes, sir. That definitely happens. I've made some mistakes like that in the past year and a half.
Yeah. And a 29-degree rising means you're a little trigger happy. So yeah. So you need a rule of count to 10 always, like that, which is a boundary. Like count to 10, walk it off. You probably don't want to come. 29 is really mastery. So the master samurai or whatever, does not flinch, does not knee jerk, does not allow his or her emotions to take them over. It is calculated. So you have to create, what's your Pluto? Where's your Pluto?
My Pluto is 2 degrees Sagittarius.
Okay. So that's the thing. You let yourself get emotionally upset over philosophy. So it's
I have in the past. I'm really working on separating from myself from that because I'm no longer. This is like something the whole changing a fight with myself. First of all, I'm going through like a lot of stop smoking weed. I'm changing my relationship to food. I'm changing my relationship to how I process anger. All this stuff is all happening in this past couple weeks. I watched that like October prediction live, and when you were talking about changing a fight with yourself, I'm like, this is marijuana for me. Like I'm done. I'm so done with it. And yes, somebody said money. Yes, and money too. And then I've been following politics a lot for the last 8 years, and it's all in my feed because I follow these things on YouTube and Instagram, and I'm like,
And the
no
algorithm
longer
is all like
interested.
feeding you more of it. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
feeding me more of it. I'm like, not interested, not interested, not interested. I'll click a video, click off in 30 seconds. I'm like, this stuff is, it's past like empathy is way more important. The bigger picture is way more important. Yeah,
Self-compassion. So that Pluto at
yeah,
2 Sagittarius, you have to have self-compassion because beliefs and philosophies and different opinions trigger you emotionally. So
yeah.
you were probably part of an extremist in the past life, something sort of extreme, like an
Okay.
extreme philosophy like communism or an extreme religion, like the Crusades that were trying to force Christianity down people. You're probably involved in something like that in a
Mm.
past life where you got because you have no boundaries around your feelings around. If Pluto at 2 Sag says you don't have any boundaries around how you feel and how that mixes with philosophy or religion. In other words, you haven't claimed your own authority or agency to believe in what you want to believe in,
I
and separate.
I really want to do that. I really
Yeah,
want to do that.
yeah, and you're that's the trigger. That's what makes you pull the gun trigger. So when you say what I feel and what I believe is cool, and what they believe is I'm fine with them not disagreeing or believing differently, then you really take your finger off the trigger.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
taking your finger off the trigger. Yeah.
Any any suggestions? Okay, so in at the end of August, at the end of August, I did a psychedelic mushroom trip, and what I got from that is kind of what my mission is going to be for the next 15 to 18 months, which is going to be healing all the things around my family. I'm coming back into my family more as a teacher rather than as a person who is being looked down on. I'm I'm really pushing past like the imposter syndrome stuff right now,
Mm.
and I'm interacting with my family in a different way. So so I'm going to be taking them to like 28-day reset and the human garage protocol
Oh,
because
that's great.
guys, it's what you guys are doing is like the way that you're moving through the intergenerational trauma and the fact that you're just following the same path as your parents. Like you have me, and I'm not okay with that anymore. We're going to raise the standards and we're going to change what we're doing. And there's going to be, I know that there's going to be lots of triggers coming up. I'm going to be very trigger happy, and I'm going to have to work through that feeling of like count to 10, like you said, and then come back to that like solid rooted place of let's just keep going and doing this. So any suggestions for how to approach these interactions coming up?
Yeah, with your moon at 14 Libra, you have so first of all, your moon's in your 12th house, so your conscious is your emotions are subconscious. So there, you have swallowed them to be that warrior. You swallowed your emotions. So your soul is used to swallowing your feelings and keeping them very deep. So first of all, they have to have like a place where you let them up separate from your family. They have to have their
Yep.
own time and space where
I,
you're working through.
I have fostered that a lot.
Okay,
Okay.
that's good. The second thing is it's at 14 degrees, so you have to coerce your feelings to be on the side of where your heart belongs. Step 1 is heart, step 4 is
Yeah.
belong. So you have to get your feelings on the side of your heart. Because your feelings, being that they're tied to this Chiron, your feelings will gravitate towards that failure in a past life a lot. Your feelings are remembering that past life failure. Your feelings are remembering that rage, remembering that anger. And so they have to constantly be sort of like turning a kid's face back to its attention. Like, no, what's my heart belong? Yes, I feel pissed. I feel this. I feel that. But what does my heart belong? Where's my heart in this? And so that will purify your emotions to be on the right team, on the right side. And your heart may say, you know what, I'm not going to push dad yet. Your heart may say, you know what, I'm going to wait for mom. Or your heart might say, yeah, this is the time. So your heart will guide you with the appropriateness of all those intentions. But you have to, of course, purify that repressed emotion and get it on the side of your heart. And by the way, 14 adds to a 5, which means that right now, your mind, your emotions are responding to certain thoughts. So if you let yourself go down certain rabbit holes, you stir up that subconscious emotion, which is very explosive.
Oh, it's hilarious. My mom just joined the live.
Oh, there you go.
Hey,
So
Mom.
that's a. Hi, Mom.
Hi,
We
Mom.
were just talking about you.
Yeah.
So Gabrielle, the best way to be a teacher is to embody the process. People follow, it doesn't matter what you say or what you know, they follow what you do and who you are. And that's, that's the journey. So the count to 10 rule inside your family is super important. And give them space too. They have to learn at the same rate that you learn.
Mm-hmm. I would also pray to the Archangel Gabriel, because clearly there's a bond there.
And I play the trumpet.
Oh, there you go. That's no accident.
And it's
So
no
with
accident
that-
Yeah.
you even knew that Archangel Gabriel was for the trumpet.
Once you release your emotional trauma with the South Node going through Libra, your communication in the angelic realm will be much higher than it is now. So it's probably blocked by your own pain and stuff. But a 14-degree moon would mean that you could channel Archangel Gabriel. You could be a channel, a pure channel.
It's a lot of like, I'll say it straight up. It's like murderous rage, and it's like I'm like I gotta let that out.
Yeah,
Gotta let it go.
Well,
forgive.
transforming
and forget,
anger and rage, transforming that is action, because that's both belonging to Aries, which is the liver, which anger and rage is also the other side of action. So it's making sure that your perceptions are good. Your perceptions are triggered and controlled by your environment, what you eat and what you do. And that's why you're in the perfect place right now, doing what you need to do. You're going to be great, Gabriel.
Thank you.
are. And likely a message with your own trumpet. So yeah.
Thanks,
I wanted to say that Serious Joy is very, very, very cool. Sometimes I read ahead of the day. Sometimes I'll not read and look back at the day, and things will be like, I was thinking exactly this way at the exact time that this message went into my inbox. It's crazy. I commend you. I was very agnostic about astrology even a month ago, and I'm starting to flip that around. It's very, very cool, the journey that you're taking me on with Serious Joy.
Thank you, Gabriel. I'm honored to be of service. I look forward to hear from you again. I hope to see how things are progressing.
I'm sure you will.
This is your cue, sir. This is your cue. Yeah.
Take care, Gabriel.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's great.
at some point, Chris,
Great
at some
community.
point, now we can get together again. We're going to bring you in front of all these leaders that we have worldwide. And
I would love that.
yeah, I mean, Gabriel is just a great example of, and Zoe before, great examples of the people that have found their way into the 28-day reset, the lifestyle artist program. And the app, like I said, I'm going on to the 7th year, and that's changed my life, because it's funny because I live it almost all the time and days in advance. So I know what it's going to say generally, but every once in a while where I'm having a rough one, I pick it up and it's like right there to tell me and put perspective back into my life.
I love that. And we're grateful. And I'm really grateful that you have been such a taste tester of it with your 29 super brain. I appreciate it. We're real grateful. I'll just say, for those who want to sign up, man, we're about to do 40 Days of Truth and Purpose. This starts on Scorpio 0. So if you want to rooter through all your karma and who you are, in 40 days, you will know what your truth is and what you were born to live, which is the big 2 questions people always have. So that's a serious, you give them the URL, to follow, because you want to do your pathway.
Thank you, Chris.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Looking forward to next week. Last week was exactly precise. This week with the eclipse coming on Saturday, I see change.
I see change too, sir. It's nice working with a fellow wizard. I'll see you next Monday.
Take care, buddy.
Ciao, brother.
Okay, everybody, that was fantastic. I always love having these conversations. I like having conversations that I would have. This is a conversation I would have had with Chris 2 years ago, 5 years ago. These are the conversations I had so that I understood the world around me. And we're just putting them live so that you guys can hear them. If you feel called to do this, go to our webpage and go under our products and our partners. And then you can sign up for Serious Joy for $4 for the first month. If you don't like it, get rid of it. I'm sure you're going to be shocked and surprised at how powerful it is. Remember, we've got this. We've got the eclipse coming on Saturday. which means that the law of attraction is totally in action. It's going to be super powerful week. And if you get sick and you're feeling down, you're feeling bad like me today, I just came off the live and then went right back at it, guys. You're not sick, you're detoxing. And when you detox the emotions and the karma, it comes up as what looks like this sickness in your body. So welcome to the greatest change of your life in the next 9 months. Chris said it started last week on Wednesday, and boy, did it ever. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow on the live. Take care.